Hi guys. Before we start today's video, I wanted to show you something extraordinary. So I got from here to here for $1. Look at these old brushes. They were from an old gallery in the 50s, I think he said. So these are I don't know, I guess from the 50s or before. I don't know, this could be from before. That's why I said I don't know. But anyways, he gave me these for $1. Then we went the next day. He gave me all these for $1. These are my daughter's. She already separated. She says she wants this set. But then he turned around. He said, "Here, have all these for free." So now I have all of these paint brushes. A lot of them, not a lot of them actually, just like a few of them are like hardened, like this one. Only this one. There's like maybe 7 of those. But yeah, some of them are really, really old. Like this, I can tell in this old set that some of these are very old. But anyways, yeah, just wanted to share. So I got all these for $2, and then he gave me these for free. And they're all just, they were part of this. I picked these from those, so he was just like, yeah, just take the rest. So just wanted to share my excitement. I know you guys would share my excitement too. Now to the video. For this project, you're gonna need 2 main ingredients: a buck and wire spool. Some of the benefits that I found by ripping apart 2 pages at a time is that, one, they stick together. I guess the glue and the binding would stay with them. So when I would lay them, then it just becomes easier to fold. As you guys saw, I folded a lot of them at a time. But not only that, when it comes to cutting them, when you cut paper a lot like this, what I was seeing when I was doing different amounts of of pages, is that there was shifting on the paper, and by the time I was like on my last cuttings, the paper would be all kind of like lopsided and weird. And I found that when it's glued kind of still on the side, it doesn't do that shifting. It still does a little bit. I feel like towards the end, I see like the 2 papers shifting. You know, when you cut more than one piece of paper, it does that shifting. But it works out better. Also, the benefit of cutting 2 pages at a time is that, in a sense, you're cutting 4 pages right here. It is less stressful on my hand, and I'm able to do this without any problem. Actually, the one that hurts more is this one, because I hold it and it's just like on the same position. I guess because this one, it goes up and down, so it circulates my muscles or whatever. But I found it easier if I do it this way. Now at the end, well, I didn't do it on this one, but usually I'll just cut off the glue at the end. I'll cut it in a minute. But yeah, it's easier for me. There's less messing around and stuff. And since it's so repetitive, It's just easier for me to just stick to 2 pages. My hands get used to the same weight, the same cutting, and you know, I can be watching TV. I went to the park, took the kids to the park, and I just sat there and did this, and it was actually very relaxing. But yeah, I recommend 2 pages at a time. Okay, next step. After we've done our cutting and our cutting and slicing, right, of our pages, I'm gonna start wiring. Now, if you know the system of, if you've seen up close a Christmas tree, you know, artificial one, or those brushes that we brush the cups or the bottles, I brush the baby's bottles with, you'll see, if you ever have looked it up, how they are made. They're made this way. They have wires, 2 wires, and they insert whatever material that the brush is going to be made out of in between the wires, and then they spin the wires and they make a the brush. That's how it's made. So kind of like this. So if you can see here, this is my first one that I did to see if it would work with paper, to see if it wouldn't tear it as I'm turning. Now, I've learned a couple things from this. One, I did one here, and look, it looks, sorry, let me move this out of the way so you can see better. See how thin that looks when I did one? Then I believe I did 2 here. I put 2 pieces of paper, as so, like this, because I wanted it to look fatter and thicker. And then on this end, but I struggled to wind the wire, because if I just sit here and wind, for example, this and this, and you know, you grab a pliers and then hold it with the pencil or another plier, or just with your hand, and then wind it on this side, the paper tends to want to come out, or it loses its way, right? Because you're kind of, in a sense, scrolling, I guess, I don't know, but it kind of wants to shift. So that's not possible. So you have to kind of go in there and twine it. So it was hard because it was this wide. So at the end, what I did is I grabbed one of these pages and I took one out. Well, out of the 2, I took one out, then folded it, then put it in the middle, and it was just easier for me to wind it this way. But you could also do that, but I think what I'm gonna find easier, because I already have them in 2, and I don't want to be like going like this and then licking my fingers and trying to separate, because my hands are cold. It's cold where I'm at now. So what I'm gonna do is just gonna rip it in half like so. Okay, and then you have your wire to the desire. So if I wanted to copy this length, okay, what I'm gonna do is 2.5. So I went half, 1, and then another one again, plus a little bit of half, because when you wind it, you lose length. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do the 2. Now you can I kind of have rewound it a little bit, but just so it goes like this. Okay, so once I have this like this, okay, then what I do here is I go, you can start from the get-go, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to, I'm going to grab my other pliers that I have in the garage. I don't have them here, so I'll have to bring them. But once I do that, I'm going to squeeze this more so that I can put it on my base, right, on the stick or on whatever it is that I'm going to stick all these papers on. I know I started on my branches, but I still don't know what I'm going to do the tree trunk out of. But for the time's sake, look. So then what I do here is I wind, and it became so much easier when I did a short version. Now you could also do another thing. You could also cut them. There's other options I guess you could do. If you have a one of those paper shredders, you can just cut them all the way through and just grab a little bunch and then just do a bunch at a time. I don't know how that would look. I don't have a paper shredder, so I didn't try. But when I was cutting it, you know, it reminded me of the paper shredder. And I thought maybe if one of you wanted to try it that way, you could do that. Or, you know, when you're cutting, even cutting all the way through instead of like stopping right. But another thing I found, if you are going to do this process, okay, I kind of went all the way to the end, but not really. The closer you are, okay, so how do I explain this? The closer you are, the less likely of this. You see how it's just kind of like all together and going that way? I mean, you obviously have to come and like separate and play with them, you know, wrinkle them up, play with them or whatever, and then do that. What I'm going to do is separate them to cut. I don't know if I really want to cover the wire. I don't know if I care to cover the wire. But you could play with it. But see how right here I have this bunch of paper that if I had it ripped all the way through, I could do that. But I don't know if see, and that. But then some of I like that it's some of it together because it gives me that volume. Do you see that? So if this was like not completely cut or separate here, it wouldn't probably give me this lift on this paper, and it doesn't give me that volume. So I do feel like it helps with the volume, like, you know, to make it puff rather than all lay down, because I do want it to lay or droop down like this one, kind of training it to droop down. But at the same time, I do want that volume. So this is my first tree and my first try. This is actually my second branch ever made. So, but I wanted to share the things that I'm learning as I go. So I feel like I'm liking the process, and I might be sticking with this. I don't know halfway through if I decide to change, but I am going to stick to 2 pages or half, like if you do 1 paper, fold it. But I do want to stick to 1 double because I want it a little chunky. Or maybe even triple. But see how if I did it, it would look like this, probably. And it would lose its thing. What another thing that you could do, it might be good to fold it because you don't want them together like this. So I might end up, now that I'm doing it now, separating them and just to, see how I struggle? Because I have fat fingers, I struggle to separate it. So just so that they're not exactly on top of each other, just a little bit like this. So when I do it, it's more chaotic. See? I feel like that's going to work better. Let's try it together. So I thought I was going to have problem tearing the paper, and it doesn't. What I was going to do if it started tearing, I was going to like put a piece of some glue in the middle of both papers. And then that would give, you know, the wetness would give a little bit of flexibility. And then at the end, it would keep it from like completely falling apart. There you go. See, if it was not together right here, this one wouldn't be flying. I don't know. I like that it's kind of like together and not, and you could train it. So I'm going to keep on doing this together. I have this other one right here too. Now you can cut them, like, see, I noticed that I did some fatter and some thinner. And you can kind of mix match them, I guess. Or, oh, you know what would be a better idea? If I was to put the thinner ones towards the tip. Oh yeah, let me put that away. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be so many of them that I don't know if it'll really matter. But yeah, let me separate them because I feel like I might be better. See, we're learning together, people. My hands are freezing cold. But if I put gloves, and I don't like having the AC on because my daughter struggles with asthma, and I feel like every time I put the AC on, she coughs more. I don't know. It might be something that AC needs cleaning, or I don't know. But I just feel like it's not good for her when I turn the AC on. So I'd rather be freezing cold than hear my baby coughing and puffing and sick all the time, and I don't want to be giving her a little puff, right? She's too young to be medicated all the time. So I'd rather be cold in my hands. She's nice. They're on vacation, so she's nicely tucked in the bed right now. Okay, so see how it gives me all that volume? And I feel like later I can find a spot and like kind of lay them down and stuff, and it would look like this, right? So later we're gonna shape them, but let's see how it shifts, as I was going. So I'm gonna either go back and tuck it in, or like that, or I can just rip the pages a little bit more. You know, they're in there already, so see, it's just, you're gonna play a lot like I am. So I feel like, see how I have to get my hand in there. That's why I decided to make shorter. This shifting is driving me crazy. The piece of there you go. See, that looks nice. See how that looks? And I imagine there's gonna be like a bazillion of these together. You can't play with me. You could glue them, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it'll give you the same effect. But, you know, I want to make a branch. So that's why I did this wire. Now, if you were smart, like I was not, well, I knew that I was going to be using wire like a lot. When I went to the 99cent store and I saw those spools of wire, and they were like $1.99, and I said, if you like to build stuff with wire, go buy some. And of course I gave you the advice, but I didn't do it. So then later in life, you'll struggle for not listening to yourself like that. So I didn't find this wire. I think I found it. Where did I find it? I think I found it at a farmer's market, because I went to Harbor Freight. I went to different places, and it was hard to find. So look, that one came out nice. See, if you want it fatter, you could probably do like maybe C1. Let's try more. Well, that's the tip, so I don't want to do more. Okay, on the next one, we're gonna try 3 pages. So like 1.5 pages. I mean 3 halves. Yeah, 1.5 pages. But we'll see. Let's try this. Oh, and this is so satisfying. I love playing with paper. Okay, so we'll do one like this. Ugh, why didn't I just do that? Okay, anyways. Okay. What I kind of did do also, I went back a little bit on the previous one. On that one, I did it more than this one, just so that it combines better. You know, you could tea dye the papers before you do this, or coffee dye the paper before you do this. I kind of like this white, clean book page look, whatever. If maybe I decide to, I guess I could always just spray it on it, right? Let's see. This is the last bit. Let's see if it works out. So I'm holding on this side and I'm twisting on this side. And there we go. Okay. See? There's a second branch. Okay, so I have this, I have kind of laid out kind of by size, like from width, like the smaller one to wider. Now this is not how tall it's gonna be. I feel like it's going to be more this height right here. So I found this stick in the garage. I don't want to cut another one. I like it because it's like completely round, like not round, but like squared. And so it's the only one that I had squared. I have a lot of 2x4s and 2x6s and 1x1s, but I really wanted a square shape. So I'm gonna wrap it up with the tree branches. I mean, with the more of the paper. Oddly enough, this is only half a buck. So I'm gonna wrap this up, and then I want to drill holes after, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I want it more roundish, so I want to put a lot of book pages in it, and then I'm gonna drill the holes afterwards so we can insert each branch. So I have wrapped it up, just basic wrap up. Then I have a bunch of these leftovers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab one of the sheets, for example, like this. And you see how we separate them to one, then wrapped it around. What I'm gonna do is just cut it here, and then just wrapped it all around here and kind of like wrinkle this side so it like shingles all the way up like this, like so, sort of like this. Okay, so I'm done wrapping the the stick. I feel it looks like a piñata stick. Anyways, I was given a bunch of these like encyclopedias, so I took out the cover for storing it so that I don't take up a lot of space. But I stuffed one down there, and I think what I want to do is I want to do one on this side and one on this side, and then still kind of tuck it in. Let's see if it works. Yeah, and all I have to do now, tighten that side and that side. Okay, so as I suspected, these they went all the way in, and yet they weren't even touching the stick, because usually it's like, you know, made for a tree, so it's probably like around 4 inches in diameter, kind of where I was hoping, because before this, I saw that it was the gap that all of them when they were inside it was like bigger. So I knew I had to bring out something, and I felt like I wanted to do a base of books anyway. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna squeeze it in with at least half of them like this, right? And the ones on the opposite sides come close. They don't touch it, but I feel like if it was gonna fall, like, it would stop it, and it does. See how it's kind of like sturdy-ish. But when I squeeze these in, it gives it more like stability, and it looks beautiful. I knew I wanted to use these books sort of for the base for this. I wasn't too sure how. I just knew I wanted to. That's why I prepared them. But they look great. I feel like it looks like I don't know, like maybe the leaves, the trees growing. The trees growing from the books. You know, like sort of like my lamp is growing hot air balloon. But yeah, so let's see how that looks. Now my next step, I'm going to bring the drill. I'm going to start drilling in holes so I can start inserting my branches on this. Okay, and so here is the tree. It's daytime, and there's the tree. I moved the stuff around. All this stuff was kind of right here, but I don't have plants in them. Well, I have plants in that one right there, but not in this one, so I brought them on my side of the desk. But this is it. This is how it turned out. So at the top, let's start from the top. At the top of the the base of the wood, I drilled a hole and I ended up the pine right there. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is in the back. I was very limited as to what I did. And I put the little ones on top, and then some I would put and kind of move them this way because I want it flat-ish to the wall, because I don't have that much space for it. So like if I wouldn't have put it so much flat to the back, it'll be like all the way up here, and as you can tell, like it's not something I want to do. So another thing is I would have it lit for you, but my what's it called, my lights are in the attic of the garage, and there's a nest or a bird living up there, and I'm not going to disturb it for lights. So this is what you get, and it's Black Friday, which means I will not go to Walmart or Target to buy lights today. But I know you guys are creative and you guys can imagine how it would look lit up. There's the base, the books, love it. I will be decorating it in on Instagram, so you guys can see the decorations I'm gonna have, and I'm gonna be posting them there. So if you want to see how I decorate it, I have a lot of crazy ideas. Follow me there at the Creativity, it's the Creativity Inc. I will put a link down below so you guys can follow me there. But yeah, I love it. I may buy lights later, but I'm not gonna go to the attic. But yeah, this is how it is. You could dye it, like once you have it twirled up, I can take this, each individual, and just dip it on a color, with food coloring or any kind of dye, and I could dye it any color. But I actually love how it looks this way. I love that you could tell it's a paper and it's book. Look. And every one of these, let me show you with this one. So I shape it so it goes like down and up. So like down and up. And they all kind of go that way, up and like that. Sort of like like a tree shape, you know? And so here, you can see more on this one. Up and then, so it's kind of like, so they're all shaped in that way. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're willing to do one. I may do another one on Instagram, and I'm going to show you how I dyed it. My daughter wants a pink one, so I may go for it. Not sure. Not sure. Because my hands hurt from, not hurt, but like a little sore from the winding of the wire. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everything that you guys do and support me in my channel. If you want to support me further, you guys can always join me in my Patreon group, where I upload free downloadables. Well, not free, but downloadable for you guys only. That are accessible to you and free only to my patrons. Thank you so much. Till next time, guys. Stay safe. Let me know if you guys do one. Okay. Bye.